Hi everyone, I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You, and I'm your host of the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Here's where we talk about the connection between creativity and healing by interviewing amazing creatives, spectacular healers, and inspiring people who have used creativity in their healing. What does it mean to be creative? What is creativity? You don't have to write a best-selling book or paint a masterpiece or even play in a rock band. Creativity is in everything that we do, in the ways we think, in the way we run a business. In our everyday lives, we are creative all the time. Let's talk about how we are creative and how creativity helps us heal mentally, physically, and emotionally, right now on the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Hi everyone, I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You. Welcome to the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Today I have with me Tammy Watz. Tammy was one of our presenters for the Loving, Healing, Creating Summit that we ran February 2nd through 14th. We absolutely loved having her. You can still get access to that summit at www.creativeyou.ca. Tammy is a third-generation psychic medium who feels that this natural part of her life is just like breathing. It's all she's ever known. When Tammy was 4 years old, her grandfather passed away. She remembers from that young age visiting and playing games with her grandfather's spirit. Her abilities have only grown and evolved since then. She now uses her intuitive abilities to pass on messages from loved ones and angels to us in the physical world. Tammy made it very clear many years ago that she would only use her abilities for positive and would only welcome entities from the light. This is why she has chosen to be known as a divine messenger. Tammy is a down-to-earth and no-nonsense channel who is known to bring humor and precision to every reading. Welcome, Tammy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes. Can you please share some of your story and your path that's brought you here?
Well, that's a really interesting story, actually. I grew up in a very intuitive home. Baba and Mom and my sister and I were all very highly intuitive. We grew up talking to each other telepathically. Like you mentioned, I grew up, hanging out playing with my Guido. My mom and I would talk about seeing him or talking with him. It just didn't seem odd or unusual. If Baba, said something, we just listened because she knew everything. She was always right about everything. So it wasn't until I grew up, probably around junior high age, I started seeing spirits and different people hanging out in schools, and I'd look around, and I was always a very, very shy kid. So I'd look around and nobody else seemed to pay them any attention or notice them. So of course I didn't say anything because I'd be terrified to be different or, God forbid somebody make fun of me for yet another reason. And then as I got older, I just started reading some books and learned a little bit more about, this thing called intuition and psychic ability. And I started thinking, well, why are there books on it? It's just the way we are. And it wasn't until I was probably about 18 or 19, some friends and I were out at a club dancing, and you just meet people. So I met this woman and shook her hand. And as soon as I shook her hand, I said, wow, you've got a lump in your breast. And I said, oh, but don't worry about it. Go to the doctor. They'll take it right out, fix you up. You'll be fine. And then I kind of looked around and everyone was staring at me gobsmacked. And she kind of went white as a ghost. And she was like, what? And I thought, oh, shit, you blew it. And I was like, well, yeah. So she said, well, I do have an appointment tomorrow. I found a lump, but I was going to cancel it because I thought I was overreacting. And she was probably about my age too, probably around 18 or 19. And I said, well, no, I'll go with you and it'll be fine. And went to the doctor and took care of it very easily over the next couple months. And so her and I are still good friends, and everyone kind of started, I guess that was my coming out of the closet kind of experience. And just from there, it turned into pretty much a fun bar trick, go freak that guy out and say something. And before I knew it, people just started giving me money and they wanted to ask questions and know more. And as all that was happening, I would start experiencing different things and kind of just hone my skills from there. Working with my angels, and my Guido still helps me so much. He passed away when I was about 3.5. Such an amazing teacher for me still. And yeah, that's how I got here.
So what does healing with creativity mean to you?
Healing with creativity is literally the only way there is to healing. As I understand it in my own life and from my angels and talking with my guides, there is only creativity. Because we're all energy, we create ourselves every day and every moment. Anything we do, whether it's purposeful or intentional or not, we create it. We create dinner, we create relationships, we create I've got all these things going through my head. We create fabrics, we create design, we create clothing. Everything we do, we create. We don't create it all ourselves. Sometimes as human beings, we create it with other human beings. We always create things with our angels and our guides and everybody who loves us on the other side. And everything we do, because it's all unique in creating the next moment. When we heal with creativity, all we're doing is making up and inventing something that helps us even deeper and on a whole other level. That's why I was so glad to be a part of the summit, is because it takes all of these different modalities from artists and writers and healers and energy workers. It takes all of it to create the bigger picture and to create something completely and holistically.
Oh, I so agree with that. And it's one of the reasons that I felt the need to bring everyone together for that summit. It was amazing. So
well done.
Yeah, thank you. And so do you think there's a driving force that inspires you?
Controversially, yeah, I believe that it's God. I was raised Catholic, still Catholic, may not be the best Catholic in the world, but the word that I use for source or creator is God. It's what I'm comfortable with. And everything that I do, whether it's teaching my students at school or helping a friend or grocery shopping, it's all guided from our divine source, for me, which is God. And that's where I get my inspiration and my everything from, which again goes back to why I don't love the word psychic or channel or anything, because everything that I do and everything that I experience is from what I associate as God and divinity. I'm just a messenger of the divine. I'm just a tool to be used for healing and help and inspiration, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So has there been a past pain that's informed your life purpose?
Probably. I have a trauma brain. I grew up in a very traumatic environment. I have the best mom on the planet, and I believe that only because of her, I survived and became the amazing person that I believed myself to be. But there's a lot of pain and heartache and different things that we go through, whether it's in our childhood or in our present or recent past, that I believe push us forward and push us towards the next milestone for ourselves.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. So what is your favorite creative healing modality for yourself?
I'm not sure I have one. When my human brain hears the word creative, I right away think art and painting and drawing and color matching and furniture design, and I freak out because all of those make me very, very, very uncomfortable and nervous. I don't have any natural talent or artistic ability. Um, so I think if I look past what I know as art and creative that way, I probably do have a lot of things that I do that help me and that heal me. I love writing. I love cooking. I think a lot of my healing comes from making a good soup. I know I love healing other people, with a good soup.
And you do make a good soup. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, and it's so true because creativity, as you had stated before, is in everything we do. So having, like cooking being your favorite healing makes so much sense, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say is your greatest accomplishment to date?
I don't think that I have a greatest one. I know I'm not finished creating and inventing myself, and I think to have a greatest accomplishment to date for me is just very limiting. I think I've done a lot of really incredible things. So I hear. I mean, I don't myself think they're incredible, but I get a lot of feedback from others and from clients who are astounded at the change and growth that they've made and progress in their own life with my help or from something that I've inspired or mentioned. I don't know. I think if I look at my personhood as a human being, my greatest accomplishment is being able to be in the life of my niece. Just being with her and helping to shape her life and who she is. If I have to pick anything, I'd probably pick that.
Not say, meeting and enjoying your current partner that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah, you're pretty good too.
I think it's an accomplishment. We're good together.
Above some of the celebrities I read for, or working with the police and helping put murderers away, I would definitely put you above all that.
Okay, all right, that's good. Still below your niece. I understand that.
We all know she's the light of my life, and as long as you understand, that's not changing.
Yeah. So if you could change one aspect of our society through your work, what would that be?
Just one.
Okay. Well, let's start with one and go from there.
Okay. I think the overlying reason I'm here as a messenger for the divine is to help human beings understand that we're not separate. We're not alone. We are not human beings plunked here on a planet to fend for ourselves. We are loved. We are amazing. We are capable. We as human beings can do anything and everything. And to connect people with each other and to connect or to reconnect people with the divine. And I'm not pushing a Jesus thing here. When I say divine, I'm talking about the higher level energy, the love energy that you have for people you love in your home or your family or your pets. That type of pure love energy is divine. It comes from divine. And if I can help people understand that love energy doesn't go away, we're born with it, we're here with it, And we can even affect others and pass it on and teach others how to live in this divine love energy and have an amazing life and use it in every aspect of our life, whether we're conscious of it or not. I think if I can do that, even for 10 people, then I've done a good day's work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So what inspirational advice would you give someone who's struggling?
Struggling is a minute-to-minute thing, I think, for human beings. So depending on the struggle you're having, the best thing I would say is connect with a person, connect with a loved one who's passed away, connect with an angel, connect with an animal, connect with anything in nature. Like literally hug a tree is connection, because anything living has the divine energy connection. And if you can connect with that, even just a little bit, that sense of loneliness or frustration or anger or what do I do next can be alleviated, even if it's just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you have an inspirational quote that sums up your life journey?
I don't think I do. I'll probably make one up eventually in my life. But I don't think I have a favorite quote yet. The one I kind of live by the most right now, and I don't know who said it or where I even heard it from, is just simple. Give joy, get joy.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is that simple, isn't it? It is.
I think so. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add that we maybe haven't discussed today that you'd like our listeners to know?
I just want to remind people that being in an intuitive lifestyle isn't hard work. Working with your angels and listening to angels and hearing angels and spirit guides and all of those amazing beings that are on the other side, that are on your team to help you live the best life you can. It's not hard to connect with them. You don't have to meditate for hours. You don't have to go to church for years. You don't have to be a certain person. You don't have to hold your tongue the right way. It's your birthright. You're born from source, the divine source, and that connection never breaks. Whether you're a murderer or a robber or a liar or the best person on the planet, that connection never breaks. It's energy. It's pure love energy from source.
Yeah.
So you don't have to work at it really hard. There's a lot of really simple ways you can help yourself remember how to be intuitive, how to be, psychic. I don't love the word psychic, but psychic and intuitive I use interchangeably, because I really believe it all comes just from the divine source energy. Everybody already is intuitive. You don't have to try hard.
Right. Wow. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciated it.
Well, thank you, Miss Larissa. It was a pleasure.
So to our listeners, we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, I wish for you amazingly creative days. Have a great week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening in. Please remember to like, share, subscribe wherever you are watching or listening. You can find us at www.creativeyou.ca. That's www.creative and the letter U.ca, because we're in Canada reaching out to the whole world. See you next time on the Creative Soul Healing Podcast.